Alright, and welcome back everybody to another episode of my Let's Play a Perfect Final Fantasy VII. So we were last left off with Cloud falling from the reactor number 5, and in a classic cliffhanger fashion, I left you guys on that note. So we're going to see what happened to Cloud, and we're going to pick up where we left off. So obviously that couldn't be the end of Cloud, or this would have been a pretty darn short game. So here we see Cloud waking up next to the flower girl. And it looks like her flowers might have given us enough of a break between the roof and the flowers. We survived that fall. So we'll go ahead and talk to her again. So, believe it or not, none of these options actually make a difference into Eris's affection table, so it doesn't matter if you say you remember her or not. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and say, yeah, I remember you. And we have a funny option to say you were the slum drunk or you were selling flowers. We'll just say that we saw her selling flowers. Very interesting. She asked us about if we have any materia or not. She says that she has a special materia, but it's good for nothing. And Cloud very confidently tells her that she must not know how to use it, which is funny. It was her mother's. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to skip through some of this dialogue and say we ain't got nothing to talk about. So we're going to come over and talk to her one more time. She realizes that she didn't tell her name, although I just spoiled it a second ago. Her name is Eris. So the community's always in an uproar about this character's name, as her real name is Aerith with a TH instead of an S. There was a translation error when the game got ported from Japan to English, so they spelled it Eris. For solidarity, I'm just going to keep it the same. I don't really care. Any games moving forward, though, you'll see it's Aerith, and that's why. So we're going to go ahead and try to run up to this guy, and she'll stop us. We'll come back and check on her. She'll ask us if we want to be her bodyguard and to take her home. And then she offers up a date. Cloud very confidently takes that. This guy's name is Reno. He's a member of the Turks, which is a recurring group we'll see quite a few times. He notices that Cloud has Mako-infused eyes, which are the sign of someone that used to be in Soldier. So right now we'll have the chance to gear up Eris and Cloud before we move forward. So Eris's level has been boosted too because of our grinding from before. So that all your characters' levels will increase even if they're not in the party, based on what your main party's static level is, or your highest level character. So in the equipment here, we can go ahead and upgrade one of these two characters with the Titan Bangle. So because Eris is weaker, I'm going to go ahead and give her the Titan Bangle. Actually, I'm going to make that change in just a moment, and I'll show you guys why in a second. So, because Cloud is the only one that's actually going to get in a battle here, I'm going to give it to Cloud first. We'll keep Eris. We'll give her the Iron Bangle, though, so she at least has that. There's no weapon or accessory for me to give her. We can give materia. So here, we're actually going to go ahead and give Cloud the Ice All combination. So we'll give him Ice All. And then we're going to give him the other 2 materia that we want to gain AP. So we're going to give him the most 2 important ones. So I'd say the Restore one is definitely one we want to get AP. And because Fire is a little bit behind, we'll give him the Fire materia as well. And then we can give Eris the Lightning materia, although she's not going to use it yet. And it doesn't matter if she's in the front row or not yet. However, I'm going to go ahead and put her in the front row just to save me a little bit of time from later. So what we're going to do is we're going to head... It's kind of weird. You have to come next to this edge here to jump across. We're going to head up and try to peace out. So what's going to happen here is Eris is going to get dropped down, and she's going to be separated from Cloud. You're basically going to have the option to push these barrels that are just barely on the top of the screen there to knock down the soldiers that are chasing after Eris. If you do it correctly, it'll actually give Eris an affection point, 1, every time you knock over a correct barrel. If you knock over the wrong barrel, it's going to remove 3 affection points from her. If you ask her to fight them, she'll get -1 affection points. If you ask her to run, it won't do anything, but if she has to run and she gets caught and is forced to fight, then it's going to give her another -1 to her affection. Cloud is the only one that will be able to get into random encounters while we're running around up by the barrels, and that's why we geared up the party as such. In this case, although I don't want to make Eris like me more, I'm actually going to opt towards knocking them down just to show you guys what the correct barrels are, and then if you want to do it right or wrong, that's up to you. So I'm going to tell her to hold on a minute, and I'm going to come up here to the top, and we're going to choose this leftmost barrel, and we're going to push that. Of course, first we'll have to quickly do this battle, and these are the reasons why I gave Cloud the Ice All, is because these enemies are weak to ice, and their name is Hedgehog Pie. There are a couple other enemies that you can encounter. Here you can encounter guard dogs and MPs as well, but they don't have any weaknesses, so we're just taking advantage of what we know. It's kind of tricky to move here. There we go. And we're going to push, like I said, this leftmost barrel. And this will land on top of the MP that's chasing her. So the next barrel that will need to be pushed will be this barrel, the topmost barrel. So we'll tell her to hold on a minute, and we'll push this barrel. And then the next barrel will be the rightmost barrel, which will be this barrel. So we'll hold on a minute. And we'll tell her to, tell her to wait, and we'll push this barrel. And there we go, we took out all 3 guards. She never had to fight a soul. So now she's going to come on up here, and it's going to push us forward. And we're going to head on out. And I did not mean to get into a battle there. But we will go ahead and just use ice on all the enemies. Normally I don't get into a combat scene there, but I moved a little too quickly. Because we can, I guess I'll go ahead and just fix up their equipment now. Let's downgrade Cloud to an Iron Bangle. We'll give her the Titan Bangle. And then material-wise, you'll notice that she can't use any kind of all combination either yet, so we'll just give her the fire that fell off of Cloud here. And we'll keep her in the front row, as Eris is actually a melee combat character as well. Although it's in your best interest to use her as a caster and put her in the back row just to keep her safe because she's so weak. I'd like to keep her in the front row. so that she actually does take a little bit more damage, so that it boosts her limit break a little faster. So Eris says that she thinks that they're chasing after her because they think that she has what it takes to be in Soldier. But that seems like a white lie. And Cloud picks on her a little bit for it as well. And she's definitely withholding some information from us. So we're going to head over to Eris's house. Now, on this screen and the next screen, you can encounter an enemy which is called a Vice. This enemy is extremely annoying because they can steal from you and then they can escape. It's very, very annoying, and there actually is a chance that they could take one of those precious iron bangles that we worked so hard for. So it's very important that we prioritize killing them when we see them. The other thing to note about them is that they have a really high dodge chance to physical attacks. So when you can, you definitely want to cast magic on them. That way you don't risk missing and then they peace out with one of your items. So we're going to head up here to the north, up one screen and then straight up. And this is the small town here, Eris's town. This building here to the very right is of importance to us, so we're going to head in here first. We're going to head upstairs, and along this wall is actually a Turtle Paradise News #1 flyer. There are a specific set of these throughout the game, and it's very important that you read all of them. Some of them you can never see again, and some of them you can see at later points, but it's much easier if you just follow along with me. You want to talk to this boy, and he'll tell you that no one will find it, not the top or the bottom, and if you interact with his little bedside table here, you'll now have the option to open the hidden drawer between them. If you do this, there's 5 gil. You can take it or you can leave it. I recommend that you leave it, as if we come back at a later time for leaving it, he'll give us a reward worth much more than 5 gil. So it's important that we see it so that the boy gives us the reward. Now this building here is actually a weapon shop. So we can buy from here. We can buy the Titan Bangle that we earned from beating Airbuster. If we buy the Titan Bangle, I'd recommend that you get just 3 of them at most. That would equip up the rest of your party here with the Titan Bangle. However, if you wait just a small amount of time, you'll actually get a far better equipment. So I think it's worth saving the 840 gil it would cost you to buy this. Again, you can buy grenades, but why would you? So let's go ahead and head out. And let's head back here. This is Eris's house. Now, before we head in the garden, there is both a cover materia and an ether. The cover materia is a purple materia, which is new to us. This acts as a 20% trigger that when someone is attacked physically, that your character will stand in the way and take the damage on behalf of them. It also increases their vitality by 1, which also makes the character a little bit more tanky as well. And we'll cover stats a little bit later once that comes up and is more important. So typically speaking, you would want like your strongest, tankier character. So in this case, you would want Cloud to cover on behalf of Eris. I'm actually going to give the cover materia to Eris because I don't mind her triggering her limit break by taking hits. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it to her for now. And then we're going to proceed. So we're going to go ahead and pop on into Eris's house and learn a little bit more about her. So we're going to get to see Eris's mom here. So Cloud states he wants to go to Tifa's bar, and Eris asks about Tifa a little bit. Is she a girlfriend? Now, you actually have a dialogue option here too, so if you say no way, that's a +1 to Eris, and if you say yeah, that's right, it's a -5 to Eris. So I'm actually going to say yeah, that's right, she's my girlfriend. Alright, so we're going to actually stay the night at Eris's house. We're going to just head upstairs, and Eris will have a bed ready for us. You can definitely tell that Cloud is a little torn between what he should do here. And Cloud's going to have a little flashback back to his own mother. So when you awaken here and you get control of Cloud, you want to come over and interact with this bag and receive a potion and a Phoenix down. Now, the goal is to sneak out of the house without Eris noticing, so we want to use the directional pad, or if you have auto run set, you want to hold the cancel button while you walk to perform an actual walk. And we're going to walk around the perimeter, and you have to make it all the way into the next screen without sprinting before you can actually start running again. It's very important. So then we're going to head over this way, and we're going to try to peace out without Eris. We don't want to endanger her anymore. And sure enough, she somehow got in front of us. So we don't have a choice. We're going to proceed. So I'm going to take a second to just tell you guys about this screen. So this screen has some new enemies that you can encounter as well. One of them is called Hell House. It's just a big tanky house. There's nothing really special about it. It just has a lot of HP. There's also these enemies called Hole Eaters that are like little tremor worms. They hit really hard and they're really fast. So this is like one of the weirdest difficulty spikes in the game's screens. I don't know why that is. They're not weak to anything in particular, so we'll still just have Cloud ice all everything as we go through here, but definitely something worth noting. I've seen my friends lose game overs here for some reason. It's just some silly kind of spike if you're not ready for it. So because this guy's tanky, we're just going to go ahead and hit him with magic and limit breaks and blast through this house. He's got some weird moves, but he doesn't do anything too special. If you did grind as hard as I did like this as well, you have way too much MP for these areas, so you can just be super willy-nilly and just cast spells like a fiend. As doing spells are still higher damage bases than doing regular attacks at this point, no matter what. So, gate to Sector 7 is ahead. And we have one more dialogue option. If we say take her home, it does nothing. But if we say let's bring her with us to Sector 7, that's actually a +1 to Eris because you're bringing her to see Tifa. We're going to say take her home. But she's not going to have any of that anyway, so it doesn't matter. She's going to ask us to take a break here. And now this is the infamous playground. For those of you who just saw the FF7 remake, we knew as soon as we saw that playground that that's what it was all about. That very first trailer they ever showed us. Oh, so we learn about Eris's first boyfriend. But she still is withholding information from us. And we see Tifa on the back of this strange cart, leaving from Sector 7 and heading somewhere else. And Cloud tries one more time to tell her to go home. So we're going to head through. Now you can actually get encounters on this screen as well, so be careful here. And we are now in Wall Market with its super groovy reggae beats. So we're actually going to end the episode here as well, guys, as this area will have a lot of stuff for us to do. So I will see you guys in the next episode.